Hi there folks, it's Deni. It's Deni as always. Well, there has been a lot of great games released lately, and you've definitely heard about the exciting Hogwarts Legacy and the brand new Atomic Heart, which by the way is really awesome and will definitely get you stuck in it. But I have to say that these are not all the releases that are worth checking out. So when you are done with your adventure through the fantastical world of the alternative USSR, you can try the games I'm about to show you today. If you want to, of course, but I'm sure you'll surely find something interesting today. But before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Okay, let's get started. And today we are gonna start with a game that's sure to excite the roguelike fans. Yep, I am talking about Returnal. It's a cool release where we'll be controlling a very combative lady who has found herself on a mysterious planet and now she has to explore it while fighting the local monsters and trying not to die. Well, it's okay if you do die, since our lady is in a kind of time loop. So that's pretty much the whole point of the game, to get out of this time loop. This game looks pretty solid and the gameplay is very dynamic, I would say. Well, and one more thing, thanks to the PlayStation testers, there are no bugs in the game, at least no serious ones. So this game is definitely worth checking out. Well, next up we have No One Survived. This game is only available in early access for now, and it is similar to DayZ or something like that. But it is more dynamic and you don't have to wander through the woods all the time. This game is a real survival game. More specifically, it's a cooperative online zombie survival game that looks a lot like actual surviving. Here you will need to customize your character, grab your backpack and go kill these bloodthirsty monsters with your friends. By the way, zombies aren't the only creatures here that will want to kill you. There are animals here like bears, so be prepared that they'll want to hunt you down too. What's more, the physics in this game are quite detailed, so you'll definitely enjoy the building elements here. The graphics here are quite good too, so you should definitely add this game to your wishlist. Well, if you want something relaxing and soulful instead of zombies and other apocalyptic stuff, you'll show you Plan B Terraform. You'll have to colonize a newly discovered, unexplored planet. And to do that, you will need to not only build houses, but also grow forests and make water bodies, since initially this planet is pretty, deserted. So you'll need to create decent living conditions for the locals. Well, at first you won't have many settlers, like just a few of them, but the further you move through the game, the more settlers you'll have. Just imagine a whole planet at your disposal. So if you wanted to know what it's like to colonize an entire planet, you can do it in Plan B in Terraform.
I got a piece of my heart that's covered in gold.
If you are a fan of the Like a Dragon game series, I have something new and crazy for you today. And that is Ishin. Here you find yourself in Kyoto in the 1860s. You are a samurai who must change the course of history and lead a revolution. There is a great combat system, good graphics and different kinds of weapons for you to enjoy. I wouldn't say there is a lot of them, mainly katanas, but each one has its own special features. Anyway, this is a really cool, fun adventure with a pretty interesting storyline. Even if you are not a big fan of this game series, you'll definitely like this one. So I'm not a racing fan, I mean not at all, but today I'm going to show you a thing that has even made me like too. I'm talking about Engine Evolution 2022. First of all, I want to mention that the game is absolutely free, so you can just download it and try it together with the other players. Yes, as you may have already guessed, it is an online game. It was created by a group of students, but don't let it discourage you. This game is really good. There is a bunch of different tracks, cars, locations and much more. And of course, there is a leveling up element, so the more you play, the more possibilities you have to customize your car. So don't miss it. Well, next up we have Wild Huts, and this is just the game that you really might have missed, because the initial reviews were, well, very negative. Of course, you ask me, why it that? Well, the game had pretty poor optimization, and even powerful PCs couldn't guarantee good performance. Sounds bad, right? But don't skip this game, as the optimization problem has already been solved and even is still being worked on to make the gaming experience even more enjoyable. Well, let's move on to the game itself. Here you are a hunter, and you will track down giant animals, and there are quite a lot of them, by the way. And yeah, be prepared that these animals hit pretty hard, but you will be able to fight back because you will have a lot of weapons at your disposal, including all sorts of technological stuff that will allow you to move quickly, strike powerful blows, and generally stand up for yourself. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about games that don't have realistic graphics, and we are going to take a look at Hi-Fi Rush now. I'm sure a lot of people haven't heard of it, and that's sad. It's a really awesome rhythm action game that your power depends on how well you hit the beat. Here you will have to produce epic combos, and no, you can't just press all the buttons at once, so, well, the main character here is Chai, an aspiring rock star. So far, he hasn't even figured out how to hold a guitar properly and just uses it like a bat. Overall, the game looks very accurate and has already managed to win the hearts of many who have already tried it. Next, let's take a look at the full Hellcard version, which came out just a little while ago. If you don't know what it is, let me show you. It's a card RPG that you can play alone or in co-op mode. Here you will have to fight your enemies. Well, as you might have guessed by now, using your skills has to do with the cards. By the way, this is a rather unconventional turn-based game, because sometimes you will have to fight against several dozens of enemies at once, so be prepared that you will have to think your moves through. Speaking of strategies, if you want to meditate a bit while looking at nice graphics and building small villages, I've got Farhest Frontier for you, where you have to lead a group of settlers and build your own big city. Well, besides building, there are just a bunch of mechanics, from crafting your settlers to warfare. Let me answer you in advance. Yes, you'll be attacked by enemies here, so you'll need to think about defense as well. Trust me, it is important here. Even if you were able to fight back the enemies, there are also natural elements here, and you might just get flooded. All in all, it's just a great game that you can build your own city, there the settlers live their own lives, and you just watch and make it better. I'm sure many of you have forgotten about the cool co-op shooter game Marauders, which came out last year. Well, since its release, the developers did a nice job and now the game looks just great. What's more, the Red Baron DLC was released. Well, I won't go into details, you'd better see for yourself what it is about. As for the game and the gameplay, here you are looters. You are in space and from time to time you need to go on sorties bases to get some resources from the locations and spaceships you find here. So, since this is an online game, sometimes you'll run into the same space pirates who are doing that same thing as you. And that's then the real fun with gunfights begins. And trust me, this game really is a lot of fun. Finally, let's check out one more game with Japanese atmosphere, Mahokenshi. In addition to the usual samurai and katan stuff, there will be magic here. So here you will be a mage samurai. You will be exploring the local celestial islands to protect the world from the evil that is threatening it. The storyline here is pretty standard. As for gameplay, it's a kind of a card adventure with strategy elements and pretty good graphics. Here you will have to choose which house you want to belong to, customize your character, and then go on an adventure full of battles with enemies. As you travel, you will need to level up and improve your deck. Overall, the game is pretty leisurely and gives you a lot of freedom of action, while still being dynamic, and I think that's really cool. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found something interesting. And if so, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's been Deni, see ya guys soon.